welcome to our zoo to you today. My name is Corey. I'm joined by Buck over here.
Howdy.
This is the star of the show right here, and this little lady right here is Angel. Now, Angel right here is an Aldabra tortoise. She is one of the largest species of tortoise in the world. The only larger species is the Galapagos tortoise. Now, the Aldabra tortoise is only found on one place. It's found on the Aldabra Atoll in the Seychelles Islands off the coast of Africa. Now, the Aldabra tortoise and the Galapagos tortoise are the largest species of tortoises, but they are only found on those islands, on a certain type of island, because these guys are what we call gigantism. So these animals evolve on these small little isolated islands because they don't really have any predators out there. It's really just them and a few other species. So these animals can really get to this large size. Angel right over here, I know you really shouldn't talk about ladies and their weights, but she's about 195 pounds. These animals, the males especially, can get up to 550 pounds, so they're pretty heavy animals. But luckily for her, she only eats vegetation. In the wild, they only really eat things like hay, grasses, but here at the zoo, she gets fed a very, very healthy diet. She gets hay, but she also gets like lettuce, greens, carrots, sweet potatoes, squash, things like that. Even sometimes we'll give her some treats. Another cool fact about tortoises are they are some of the oldest animals in the world. In fact, one of the oldest living animals right now is an Aldabra tortoise that's over 188 years old. Now, Angel right here, she's not quite that old. She's only about 60 years old, but she can live to be up that old. In fact, she's the oldest animal we have here at the zoo. Older than any of our primates, our crocodiles, any of our snakes, and she still has well over 100 years to go. So hopefully she'll live a very, very long life here at the zoo. Now we brought a special treat for her today. We're gonna give her a little burrito of some of her favorite types of food. She's got some carrots, some sweet potatoes, some banana, all wrapped in a banana leaf, and of course hibiscus flowers. And we'll see if she's hungry for us today. Might take her a little bit to get going. Now these animals, they're very cool. They can actually feel it when we're touching their shell. So she knows that she really, really, really enjoys it. You can see she's kind of rising up a little bit. And her favorite spot is going to be right here underneath the neck. That's kind of like the sweet spot for them. So just like you scratch your dog behind the ears, she loves to kind of get on that spot. Right here. You hungry for us today, sweetheart? She loves hibiscus. It's one of her favorites. There she goes. Now, she doesn't have any teeth. Tortoises don't have teeth like we do, but instead you can see she kind of has that spiked mouth, which really acts as teeth for these animals, enabling them to eat vegetation and grasses, chop into foods like sweet potatoes, and really get that same crunching effect. And since these animals have such a slow metabolism, that's what enables them to live such really, really long lives. You know, humans can live up to 100 years, sometimes even longer, but these guys have such long lifespans because they have such a slow metabolism. They don't need to eat every day. They don't even need to have water every day. They can go a long time without eating, so since they have that slow metabolism, if they don't eat food for a while, they'll be perfectly fine. Luckily here, though, at the zoo, she gets fed pretty much every day of the week, and she gets that very healthy diet, but she's going to do just fine here. They have pretty decent eyesight. They don't have a great sense of hearing, but their best sense is going to be their sense of taste and their sense of smell. So these guys can smell all around, looking for vegetation, shrubs, things like that. They're very good. As you can see, she has a nice yard over here for her to look around, look for some grasses, and get food like that. Want any more, or are you good for right now? There she goes. Now, out on the Seychelles Islands, like where these guys are found from, they like to live in caves, areas like that. So if you ever visit over the summer, you might notice her kind of hanging out in her pool area over there. She feels really secure. Now, they are tortoises, which are different than turtles. A lot of people think tortoises and turtles are the same thing, but they're a little bit different. You can think of it as all tortoises are turtles, but not all turtles are tortoises. So tortoises only live on the land. You'll notice if you're looking at her lovely little feet over here, that she doesn't really have webbed feet like a yellow-bellied slider turtle does. So she's not really going to be swimming around in the water. Instead, she has a big, kind of hard-like shell, very tall shell like that. She's got these very big, almost like elephant-like feet for walking around on land. Now, turtles will spend part of their lives on the land, like especially box turtles, but all of them are aquatic, so they all kind of like hanging out in the water. Whereas tortoises, they'll go for swims and they'll drink water, but they live pretty much exclusively on land. Tortoises usually have larger, more domed shells like this, compared to turtles who have a lot more streamlined, smaller shells like that, which really helps them swim around in the water. Tortoises are also pretty much exclusively herbivores. They like eating veggies, Whereas turtles really like eating other types of foods like that. So they'll eat like lettuce, vegetation, but they'll also eat fish, maybe small things like that, other prey items. So they're what we call omnivores compared to our herbivorous tortoises. We do actually do encounters here at the zoo, so once we open up back again, hopefully soon, we do recommend you guys stopping by and meeting Angel in person here. You're more than welcome to sign up for encounters with her, where you get to come meet her up close, maybe give her some stretches, help her out a little bit. As you can tell, she really likes people, she really likes meeting new people, so once all this craziness is past, you guys are more than welcome to come meet her in personal. And if you have any questions now, Buck and I are here to help answer them.
Brittany Palambino would like to know if she likes her neighbors, in particular the llamas.
The llamas, she doesn't mind the llamas. She actually lives right over there with some other animals that are nearby Africa, our warthogs and our peccaries, so she's more accustomed to seeing them. Especially our warthogs, they're very noisy neighbors, they like to come running around, so sometimes she'll respond to them.
Sarah Bailey says that's a nice browse bouquet.
Well, thank you, Sarah Bailey, appreciate it.
A lovely bouquet for a lovely lady.
A lot of people think she's very pretty.
She is very pretty. She's a beautiful lady. She's not even middle-aged yet, so she's not even in her prime.
Top fan Bill Stoeffler says, hi, Buck and Corey.
Hi, Dad.
Scarlett May asks, what other animals do they like or love?
For the most part, they tend to hang out in groups of just themselves in herds, or they tend to be solitary. But because of where they live, they don't have a lot of other animals that will hang out with them, just because it's a little bit more isolated. So part of the reason why they get so big, because they don't have a lot of competition from other animals, and they also don't have any real natural predators.
Good question from Dana LeSueur Bates. Is she almost as big as a Galapagos tortoise?
Not quite as big, as she's about average size for an Aldabra. The Galops can get several hundred pounds larger. Generally, the males are going to get a lot larger than the females, like 200 pounds larger. And the Galops are going to be generally, what did you say, like 100 to 200 pounds larger than the Aldabras?
Yeah, a large Galapagos tortoise will be not quite double their size, but it'll be substantially larger.
Jeannie Kalasian Aspie asks, has she had any baby tortoises?
No, we haven't had any baby tortoises from her, mainly because she's, like we mentioned earlier, she tends to be a little bit more solitary. But we might be getting some more Aldabra tortoises in the near future once we move her to her new habitat. So hopefully by the time we open back up, she'll be moved over there.
Summer Eisen asks, does she have a favorite zookeeper?
She does. She used to. We used to have a keeper named Andrea. That was Angel's favorite over here, but Andrea went off to work at our conservation center. So right now, we're kind of just filling in the gap for Andrea right now. She loves us, but not quite as much as she loved Andrea.
Thankfully, she's very personable.
Pam Stewart Tuso asks, from Eli, can she feel when you scratch her back with her hard shell?
She can. See, their shells are actually connected to their bodies. You can't remove the tortoise from the shell. Their shells are just part of their bodies, and they have very, very sensitive nerve receptors on them. So that way, when you touch them, scratch them, you'll notice I'm being very gentle with her. We don't want to ever bang on their shells or do anything mean like that, because they're very sensitive and they can feel it everywhere you're touching their shell. You can see even right now she's kind of responding, kind of lifting herself up. Butt scratches over here are their favorite. They love those kind of scratches back there, especially our sulcata tortoise.
Maria Bordenga asks, what is her favorite food?
Her favorite food overall is watermelon. She goes crazy for watermelon. But hibiscus is one of her close seconds, along with banana. She also really likes sweet potatoes and carrots, but probably watermelon would be the top of the food chain for her.
Leonie Villadez asks how their behavior changes with the seasons.
So right now, she's pretty active. You know, she's over here in her garden area. During the winter, since she is a reptile, she gets a lot more lethargic. She doesn't move around. She likes to stay in her nice warm barn over there where she has constant access to, so she's not really wandering around during as much. So they get a lot slower, a lot more lethargic in the winter and fall. But in the spring and the summer, especially in the summer, you'll see her roaming around everywhere, hanging out in her water around town.
Carlos Trujillo asks, what is her name? Sorry we missed the first part.
Angel.
Yeah, this is Angel, and she's such a sweetheart.
Ooh, good question. Can she outgrow her shell?
No, their shell grows with them. It's actually fused to their backbone. This is actually just all bone for them, covered in keratin, which is the same stuff as your hair and fingernails. So it's a hardened shell made of bone that's attached to their spinal column as well as their ribs. So they never outgrow their shell. Their shell gets bigger with them.
All right, well, we thank you all for stopping by our zoo to you today and enjoying a lovely session with Angel over here. She was an absolute doll. Continue supporting us. You know, we really appreciate it. We're loving every little bit of support we get from you guys. The likes, the loves, all the donations, all that fun stuff. And make sure to stop in next Monday for our next zoo to you. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate it.
See you next week, folks.